What's up, guys? I just want to cover this real fast. This is a big part of my income. Even if you can't donate something to help, whatever, this is how I make my money. I basically, YouTube's a fairly good size of my income monthly. If you can't donate or you don't want to, that's fine. Feel free to smash the like button, hit the subscribe button, all that good stuff. But if I kept you from spending hundreds or $1,000 easy at a shop, consider me. You know what I'm saying? It takes time to make these videos. I love giving free information, but it also feels good to have my back scratched too. You know what I'm saying? So everything you need to know is in the link below. Also in the comment section, you'll find all my information in the pinned comments. And I hope I help you guys out. You can help me out. Let's get started.
What's up, guys? My name is Daniel. Today you're about to learn why you don't leave ethanol fuel in your gas tank in a motorcycle for any duration of time. So, after the first year of ethanol sitting in your gas tank, normally you end up with what we call stale gas. It starts to become stale, it's harder to combust. As time goes on, the ethanol content starts to collect moisture, and then you start getting rust in your tank. So after 2 years of it sitting, you start getting bad gas and moisture accumulation, which then starts to corrode and rust the interior inside of the tank. After 3 years, your tank, your sending unit, your fuel sending unit, and your pump assembly is normally toast. I'm going to show you what a bike looks like that had ethanol content sitting in it for 5 years or more. So, I work on motorcycles. This is what I do. I have a bunch of them. I work on them all day. Let me show you why you don't leave ethanol-rated fuel and why you should be using ethanol-free fuel in your gas tank if you're going to store it or let it sit. Do not use stable. Just use ethanol-free fuel. Most gas stations that are local in your area should have it. If they don't, just run a Google search for one that does have it in your area. You can save yourself a lot of time and problems, especially if your bike is carbureted, okay, running ethanol-free fuel. Let me show you a gas tank that has been sitting for 5 years with ethanol content in it. And then I'm going to tell you how much it's going to cost for this customer to have it fixed. A customer brought me this 2007 Vulcan 900. He was told it's been sitting a little while. That's all that he was told. It's been sitting a little while. It needs a new fuel pump. I would agree that it probably needs a new fuel pump. Everything else seems to be intact and working condition, but it's not getting fuel. Now, all we were told was that it needs a fuel pump. What they didn't go into the detail of is how long the bike has actually been sitting. Now, I can tell you just by looking at the tank, it's been 5 years or more. So let's go have a look at the tank, okay? Because right now, I charge $120 an hour to work on a motorcycle. Imagine how much work I have ahead of me. This is the fuel tank that came out of it. At first glance, you would say, oh, wow, that looks pretty good. But if you'll notice, there's rust all up in here and here. This is actually going through the paint. And some of these other spots are actually going through the paint. And then we run into this. This is sticky varnish buildup. Okay, that means it's been leaking out of the seals and on its way down the tank. Here's the issue, okay? If you look inside there, there is nothing but caked flake rust that is now hardening because I have the tank off. You can see it. The whole interior of the tank is rusted, and it's rusting right through. There is probably about 2 pounds of rust flake at the bottom of this. Here's what that looks like after we pulled the fuel pump. So you guys can see, this is all the rust flake that's coming out of there. See it all? It's all rust. That is the interior of the tank, rusting and falling apart, right? So now, we're going to talk about cost, because as you can see, it ate this entire fuel pump up. Look at it. It is done. There's no fixing this. There's no resolving it. Everything is cooked on this. Everything. The lines are cooked. Everything is cooked. This got so rusted it just disconnected. There's no repairing this. The worst part is this fuel pump assembly. If this was still in good shape, I could have just replaced the internal fuel pump, and then we could have thrown this back on, and we would have been good to go for $30. This fuel pump assembly cost $400. A used fuel tank in kind of okay condition runs about $370 to $500, and the paint scheme normally will not match if you have to buy a used tank. Just with this alone, That's not including replacing the sending unit or the fuel cap that won't come off due to rust and corrosion buildup. So now we're in for a fuel tank, fuel pump, assembly, entire assembly, a fuel tank sending unit, and a gas cap for this, all because somebody didn't drain out $10 worth of fuel. All they had to do was drain the tank. That's it before parking it. Just drain it. That's it. All they had to do was pull the fuel pump off and just drain the tank and then put the gas into another vehicle before they let it sit. That's it. And then run the rest of the gas out of the bike. Just run it till it shuts down. Done. Okay? This is now going to cost him, right, just in parts alone, almost $800 in parts because somebody didn't just drain $10 to $15 worth of fuel out of the bike before parking it. Okay? So now ask yourself, is it worth letting your bike sit with ethanol-rated fuels in it? This goes for carbureted and fuel injection. It's even worse with carburetor. And with fuel injection, if any of that debris makes it into the fuel injector, you're cleaning the entire fuel system, replacing parts of the fuel rail, everything. So ask yourself, guys, you tell me, this was 5 years of ethanol-rated fuel sitting in the gas tank. Was it worth it? Are you willing to blow $800 by not just taking out $10 to $15 worth of fuel out of the bike? Because when you go to resell this to somebody, it is going to be that much harder when they know they just immediately have to fork out $1,000 just in fuel stuff, just to resolve part of the issue for the bike before you can get it running and back on the road again. Now remember, ethanol damage starts after the first 6 months. After the first 6 months, damage like that starts to occur. So ask Dan, somebody who works on bikes all day, if it is a good idea when somebody says, "Oh, just add stable, it'll solve all your problems." Yeah, you'll be fine. Drain the gas out of your bikes before parking it. If there's anything I can tell you, for any duration longer than 6 months, drain the fuel out of the tank. Drain it, guys. It's not worth all that money to solve that. It's not. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to somebody else that you're going to sell the bike to. If there's one thing that you could do to ensure that your bike will stay in good shape in your fuel system, drain the tank if it's going to sit for more than 6 months with ethanol content in it. You shouldn't even be using ethanol fuel. You should be using ethanol-free fuel. If I helped you guys today and you learned something, don't forget to smash the like button, subscribe, consider joining my membership, and hey, if you're feeling froggy, you want to take a leap, send me a donation. Everything you need to know is in the description of the video, and I'll catch you guys on the flip. I hope I just saved you $1,000 at a shop, because if he took this to a shop, that's my price. My price for the entire fix for him is going to be $890 because I'm being a nice guy. He's a friend of mine, right? I'm helping him. If that had been a regular customer, he would not have wanted to understand the bill that I was about to hit him. And that's not even shop pricing. If he went to a shop and had this done, it would have been like $2,200 to repair all of that, right? Just because somebody didn't drain the fuel. You're welcome.